Hello, everybody. You're watching the Mike Nelson Show. I want to thank everybody who's already subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Today, got a very cool guest today. I got the members of the band Severed Angel. How you doing today, guys?
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
How you doing? Hello, everyone.
What's up, man?
I'm doing good. Today, if I'm going to go through each member, if you give your name and your instrument, that way our listeners on the radio can know who they're listening to.
All right, cool. Well, I'm the drummer. My name is Wayne Noon.
I'm the guitarist.
Mark.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
That always happens.
Be my
This happened last
guest.
time.
No, you first. Go ahead.
My name is Mark Muchnick, and I play the keyboards.
And I'm Lou Mavs. I'm lead guitar.
All right, sounds good. So when did the band start out? Where are you guys based at first? So that way our listeners can get a little background info. Maybe if they haven't heard of the band, give us a little background where the band is based, how it all kicked off, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, most of the band is based in New York, except for our bass player. He lives in Pennsylvania. But the whole thing basically started. I have a podcast called Rat Salad View, and Lou Mavs is also a co-host to that show as well. And we started doing cover songs. And one day I was just like, you know what, Lou, because me and Lou have known each other for like 20 years or whatever. So I said, let's try and do an original band together. And Lou was kind of like wishy-washy on it, but I forced him. I said, Lou, you got to do this. We've known each other for so long. He's such a great guitar player. Yeah, I did. And then he finally gave in. Then he sent me one of the third track on the album, Dogs of War. And I said, this is awesome. We got to work with this. And that's when it started. But it was started about maybe about 10 months ago. So sometime like last year. So.
And so the band is based up in New York. How is the music scene up there? This is upstate New York, right? Where you guys are at?
No, we're Long Island.
Long Island. So how is I've never been to that part of New York, only been to New York City. So how is the music scene out in Long Island? Of course, back in the 70s, we had, Blue Oyster Cult came out of there, but how's it like now?
Great if you're in a cover band.
Okay.
Mark was in an original band prior to Severed Angel called The Nightmare Stage. And, I was doing my share of original stuff too. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, a lot of venues closed down. Like there was a great one in Amityville called Revolution. You had international touring acts coming through there all the time, and you had local acts opening up for them. And it was great. But, right now, with a lot of the venues out here, their sole purpose is to, make money. So they'd rather invest in songs people know than bands they never heard of. But there is still a demand from metal fans out here who want to hear new music and see what's out there. So, they're asking for it. So, hopefully that'll kind of like make a shift in the tide for original venues to start popping up again.
And how did you guys come to how did you guys name the band Severed Angel? Can you talk about that?
I'll let Lou answer that one because that was his fault.
Sure. So I just want to make it a point that Severed Angel, we're not trying to promote any political or religious ideology. It just happened that it came up that the band was formed around the time where it just seemed things seemed in the United States and worldwide that they were very polarizing. So I just kind of pulled up a thesaurus and I was like, what's an alternative? What's an alternative to polarizing viewpoint? So Severed Angle came up, and then all of a sudden I typed that in our Facebook Messenger chat, and Alex, our singer, somehow autocorrect the first time ever that it worked in our favor. Thank you, autocorrect. He responded Severed Angel, and I said, you know what, that sounds better. And the idea behind it was, severed, someone who's been beaten, bruised, scarred, and the idea of angel being sort of like a guardian or protector. So I kind of thought, a good guy that's had his ass beat, but is still, standing up to, the powers that be that try to push him down. I like that. So it's really supposed to be like promoting the idea of the underdog and them rising above, their trials and tribulations.
And there's a lot more things we can do imagery wise with a severed angel instead of a severed angle.
Yeah, pretty much.
just one point is on my Google Drive link in the Facebook Messenger, it still says severed angle.
Oh,
I don't know, it's
God.
like didn't update. So it's like a little monument to that original idea for like 15 minutes that the band was called that.
Got to
Good
keep it
for him,
to the
Mark.
base of the roots, right?
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts on the new record? This is your first album together. How did you come up with the album? What was the process recording, and are you happy with what came out with it?
You know what, Mark? Go ahead. You can
yeah,
talk.
please.
So I think this was my first time recording and writing songs completely in the digital format, with not getting 4 guys in a room and hashing out riffs and such. So that was different for me, but I feel like the song just came together so quickly and easily, and it was a real seamless process. It was shockingly really easy. And Alex, our singer, who also produces and engineers the band, he just is very skilled at putting things together. And we would send him a riff, and 10 minutes later be like, here's that riff with the drums, here's that riff with the vocals. So it was really a seamless process, and it came together very quickly.
This band is like he said, this band has done everything very fast. Like the album took us like 3 months to put together, and the songs just this is the first time we've all like really played music with each other too. So, and we didn't get into a studio and record anything. We did it all from home, and just that alone just kind of amazing, because we didn't really rehearse all these songs. We kind of just did them as we were going, and they just turned out to be really great songs.
Yeah, a couple of tweaks here and there, like I would say, Wayne, instead of going crash cymbal, can you just do the ride on that? And it just made the song better. Or you say, Lou, can you play a faster solo? Mark would probably have to be him and our bassist George, probably the one guys where it's like they did everything right in the first take. We're like, okay, you're good. So it was pretty seamless.
Yeah. And the only other thing was our singer, Alex, the producer as well, he just started singing. So hearing him get better and better as the album was going, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So what are your plans to promote this album?
Well, doing shows like this, and hopefully we get some other interviews as well, and just trying to get we have almost every single social media there is, I think, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and everything. So we've been putting out a lot of videos for that, and we have a YouTube channel too, so there's tons of videos on there, so all that sorts of stuff. I don't know if you guys have any other ideas of what we're doing.
We'd like to do shows, but the way we look at it right now, Severed Angel is the 5 of us. Having someone come in and fill in for one of the members just wouldn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
But no, I could see us doing some shows down the line, definitely.
Now, if I could go through each member, why did you pick up your instrument? Like, if each member could talk about why they picked up their instrument.
Me starting. All right, go ahead, Mark.
I'll go first. I started playing the piano when I was 6, and moved to keyboards. Took up keyboards when I was 15 years old, and I still play both. I started writing original music when I was a teenager, and haven't stopped.
Yeah, and me, probably around 5 or 6 years old, I was learning how to play guitar. My guitar, I had a really junky guitar, it was acoustic guitar. It started falling apart, and one day I'm at the practice, and this drummer comes into this the store, and he starts playing drums, and I'm like, oh my God, what is that noise? I had to play that immediately. I was like, I'm done with this guitar. I'm a drummer now. And I was a huge fan of Def Leppard, and Rick Allen was like a hero of mine at the time, because he lost his arm and all that stuff. So just between that guy coming into that music store and Rick Allen, Def Leppard really being a huge influence, that's how I got into playing drums.
I had 2 older brothers growing up, and they got me into the classics: Van Halen, Iron Maiden, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. and the later classics such as like Metallica. And, I would have to say that my Mount Rushmore of guitar players is Tony Iommi, Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, and Richie Blackmore. So those were the four guys that really increased my love for the instrument. And, I didn't set out to play just like them. I just wanted to be the best version of me. But, those are the four biggest influences that I had to say, all right, this is the instrument I want to do, and I want to master it as best I can.
Now, what you Wayne mentioned that you guys have a podcast? Is that right? Can you talk about that? The podcast that Wayne is doing, or?
Yeah, it's called Rat Salad Review. Basically, we just have interviews of all sorts of bands, and then we review albums and stuff like that too. And Lou is part of that. Lou also has his own podcast, Music is Life podcast as well. The Rat Salad Review has been going on since 2018. So it's something that I had a band like a long time ago, and I kind of got bored with not having another band. So I figured, what, maybe I can start doing a podcast and talking about music instead of playing, because I couldn't find anybody to play with at the time. So I started that, and it's been a lot of fun. Podcasting is awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it's great to do podcasting and talk about things you love. What are your thoughts on today's music scene? For you guys that are recording music and putting music out in such a difficult time right now for everybody to make money in music, because people just don't buy music anymore. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, that's the hard part, because even when we started this band, we did not know, were we going to write a full album? Were we just going to release singles? Because it's so up in the air of like what people actually listen to nowadays. And but even like now that we did this album and going to distribute it to like certain places for reviews and to get on interviews and stuff like that, a lot of people won't review singles. They'll review albums only. So it's this whole music has changed since the last time I did a band, and it's totally weird. Everything's just up in the air. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's a strange time.
Mark, you go first.
I definitely agree with Wayne's sentiments, but as a fan, first and foremost, I just can't get enough of the new music that's coming out and all the different elements that bands are putting into their music, and a lot of like old school sounds and a lot of fusions of different sounds. So I can't get enough of that. Totally I'm a total product of this music generation, for better or worse.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me, I still consume music. I still buy physical media. If there's a new artist out there that I really dig, I'll promote it. And not just in metal, I'm a real big fan of retro wave and dark wave music. So I get really influenced by stuff that I hear that I like. Not that I go out of my way to steal what they're doing, but it's inspiring to see that there's new music out there that gives me fresh ideas. And the best part about it is knowing that we don't have a guy in a suit telling us in the back, no, that's not going to sell, or why don't you try collaborating with this person. It's a lot more liberating. And although the reward doesn't always match the risk, you need to remind yourself, what are you doing this for in the first place? Are you doing this because these are songs that you'd like to write and listen to, or are you doing it to please somebody? So in that regard, not having that pressure, it's very liberating.
Well, so where can people stream your music, or where can people buy your music? If people that where can they find your music?
I'll let you answer that, Luke, because he's the knower of all the links.
So we do have a link tree. It's linktr.ee/Severed Angel. You could find all of our stuff on YouTube, Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. And we're very proud to announce on your show that severedangel.com is officially up and running. So there is our central hub for all things Severed Angel.
All right. Sounds good. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for having us on. A lot of fun.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Stay happy, everybody.
Yeah.